So we learn about array, and array is a kind of data structure that represents a collection of the same types of data. So we learn if we are using double, then you will use all the double value type data for the array. So this is the example how you can define your array as a variable. In this case, you will define the array with the square bracket, and then you will have the variable name. For example, here is my list. You can do in different type. So the variable name will include the square bracket, but yeah, it is not preferred. It means if you can do it this style, it will be better. And if we have the numbers inside of this square bracket, it means this is the size. If I define 10, it means there will be 10 numbers of double. 0 means the first element, and 9 means the last element. Because if we start with 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. So there will be 10 elements. You can declare and create in one step. It means if I declare my list with this format, double with the square bracket, and then I have new double 10, then I would like to have my list. My list will have 10 position, or there will be 10 locations to save all the data. You can use also like this one. In this case, the square bracket is in the variable name. In this case, the square bracket is in the data type. And we can check how long is the array. Once the array is created, its size is fixed. So you cannot change the size. It cannot be changed. You can find its size using what is the variable name dot length. So if it returns 10, it means the size of the array is 10. So when you have an array, when an array is created, its elements are assigned the default value. If it is numeric means integer, double. It will start with 0. If it is a character, this will be represented as the default value. The default value. Then it means this is just blank. Okay. So one single quote and the other single quote as the closing. No element inside of the character. If it is Boolean, then the default value will be false. When you define the array with the square bracket, if you mention with the 10, it means this is the array size. However, we can index variables. It means we want to access the elements. Okay. So the array elements are accessed through the index. And the array index are 0 base. It means it is starting from 0 and the array will be until length -1. So if I have the size is 10, then the array will start from 0 until 10 minus 1, which is 9. So if I have the array is 20, then the index of array will start from 0 until 20 minus 1. It means it will be until 19. So in the example before, my list holds 10 double values. So the index are from 0 until 9. And in order to see the element, so each element of the array is represented using this syntax. So if I have the variable mylist, and then if I want to see the index 0, then you can just put 0 inside of the square bracket. And you can use the index variables as the common variable. So for example, I have an array, and this array I would like to have a summation. So here, after an array is created, an index variable can be used in the same way as the regular variable. So for example, the following code adds mylist 0 and mylist 1, and it will be the result of the mylist 2. So mylist 0 plus mylist 1, it will be the result of mylist 2. Let's see the example. My first array. Now I have a definition of the array. I have one variable name, mylist, and I would like to make this mylist with 10 location, or the size is 10. The position in index 0, the value will be 5.6. The position in index 1, the value will be 4.5. And so on. Now, I would like to check what is the length. The length means the array size. And I would like to check the index 2. The element of index 2. What is index 2? Here is 3.3. And I'm going to update the index 2. What is the index 2? The index 2 will be updated with the mylist 0. What is mylist 0? It is 5.6 plus mylist 1. Mylist 1 is 4.5. So it will be 5.6 plus 4.5. Okay. And then I will print mylist 2. The result will be 10.1. If you see this one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is a consecutive number. So the number is a sequence from 0 until 9. Then we can do for loop. So the for loop will be from 0 until the mylist length. Mylist length is the array size. And I'm going to print for every of the index I. If you see I is starting from 0. And I will be added by 1 until I becomes the array size. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. If you run this code, so in the first, you will see that the length is the array size, which is 10. And then the second one, we can see the array in the element of index 2, which is 3, 3. This is 3, 3. And then I'm going to update the mylist 2 with mylist 0 plus mylist 1. The result will be 10.1, and then yeah, I'm going to print this one. After we have 10.1, we are going to print for all the elements of the array. So the elements of the array is my list from index 0 until index 9. If you want to see this one, like I plus I'm going to print I, and then I just give one space, and then I print the element of my list in index I. So I can get the index 0, and then I get the elements in the index 0. I have index 1, and I have the element in the index 1. I have index 2, I have the element of index 2, and so on. Okay. Okay, I will check later. So when we are doing with this kind of array, yeah, as you can see in the example that we did, we are doing this array initialization by using the data type, which is double, and then we declare the square bracket, and then we have mylist, which is the variable name, and then I have the data type double, and I declare the size of the array is 10. But I can do something else with this kind of array initialization. So if I want to do the declaration and creating an initialization in one step, so I can declare the double with the square bracket, and then I have the variable name, which is my list. Now I can define with the curly bracket. We call this is the shorthand syntax. So this shorthand syntax must be in one statement. So let's see. initialize array. So when we do with the initializing the array with one line, you will do it with the curly bracket. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this is the index 0. This is the index 1. This is the index 2. And this is the index 3. And how many sides do we have? We have 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 elements. And if we are doing the loop or the repetition, we will start from 0 until the length, and the length will be 4. So we can get all elements from this array. The first element is 1.9. The second element is 2.9. The third element is 3.4, and the fourth element is 3.1. Okay. This is the initializing array with one statement or in one line. Or yeah, this one is declaration of creating an initializing array in one step. Actually, this shorthand, okay, the shorthand notation is the same with this one. I would like to make an array, and the array has 4 elements, and then each of them is listed with the index 0, with the index value. So if it is index 0, I put 1.9. If it is index 1, I put 2.9. If it is index 2, I put 3,4. If it is index 3, I put 3,5. So this is equivalent with this one. I can say this is the same, okay, or equivalent. Equivalent means the same. Okay. But there is a caution. It's a kind of warning. Okay. If you use the shorthand notation, you have to declare, create, and initialize the array all in one statement. So if you splitting, it will cause a syntax error. For example, like this one. So if you split like this, it will be errors. So let's see. I have this array. Let me just follow this one. I have my list. Okay. And then I have my list here. And then I want to define it as an array. So it is not allowed. Okay. This is errors. You need to do with the one line. So this is the shorthand notation. Okay. As I mentioned to you, we can have the alternative, like new double with the array size is 4, and then I can define each of them. So the index 0 is 1.9, the index 1 is 2.9, the index 2 is 3.4 and the index 3 is 3.4. Okay, so this kind of statements, these statements are the same with this result. If you run this, then you will have the same value as the previous one. So I would like to show you the array. For example, this is one array, and you declare the array. Something wrong? Oops. Sorry, I have some issue with the computer. Let me check this one. I cannot monitor myself in the other device. Please wait for a moment. In this case, I would like to explain how we can do with array, and I will show you the step by step of the array. In the first line, we are declaring the array variables, and the variables name is values. And let's see, this one is the square bracket, and we have the size is 5. Then we have the size is 5 for the array, and the data type is integer. And we want to look from 1 until 5. And for of the values, here will be the index plus the value I minus 1. Okay, so what does it mean? Let's see. First, I declare. Now, I becomes 1. I is less than 5. Yes. Then I will do the summation. I is 1. I is 1. Oh, but okay, let's see. Values I, it means the values in index 1 equals to 1 plus value I minus 1. I minus 1 is 0. So 1 plus 0. Then the result is 1. I will be added by 1. So now I becomes 2. It will check. 2 is less than 5. Yes. Then the values in index 2 equals to 2. Okay, because I is 2. Now I is 2. So 2 plus values I minus 1. I minus 1 is 1. What is the value of 1? The value of 1 is 1, and it will be added with 2. then the result will be 3. So we put this into this array. I will be added by 1. Now it becomes 3. 3 is still less than 5. Yes. So we will do the summation. I is 3 plus values I minus 1. I is 3. And I minus 1, it becomes 2. So 3 plus values I minus 1. Values the index 2, it is 3. Then 3 plus 3. So the result is 6. So we put 6 into the index 3 because this I is 6. And then I will be added by 1. Now I becomes 4. And then 4 is still less than 5. We will do again. 4. I is 4. And then I will do the values I or the values in index 4. 4 plus the values in I minus 1. I minus 1 means 3. So the values in index 3 is 6. So 4 plus 6, it means 10. So I will insert the value 10 into the variable on index 4. And then I will be added by 1. Now I becomes 5. 5 is less than 5. No. Then we will exit the loop. When we exit the loop, there is one equation. Value 0 equals to values 1 plus value 4. Values index 1 is 1. And values index 4 is 10. And 1 plus 10, it is 11. So we put into the values in index 0. Okay. Then we finish. Okay. So the result of the array will be like this one. Out of bounds. When you have array, I mentioned to you that the array index starts from 0 and the array length will be the index, the legal index will be from 0 until array length minus 1. So if I have 10, the size is 10, then it will have an index from 0 until 9. If you write index 10, then it will be error, or we call it out of bounds. Reading or writing any index outside this range will throw an array index out of bound exception. So for example, if I have the data and I want to use integer array and the size is 10. So if I ask the index 0, then it is the first element, it is okay. If I ask the index 9, okay, it is still okay. But if I ask the index minus 1, then it is not okay or errors. So the index should start from 0. If it is index 10, it is also exception or error because the size is 10. The index should be and the size minus 1. So if we have 10 size, then it means we have from index 0 until index 9. And all the values will start from 0. Okay. There are some codes how to process the array. So we will check how to initialize the array with input values, how to initialize arrays with random values, how to print the arrays, how to sum all the elements, and how to find the largest element of the array. So let's see one by one. This one is to initialize the array with input values. So once I define the my list with size 10, so I would like to get the user input using the scanner. And then I can ask the user, please enter, for example, this is length is 10, then please enter 10 values. So you will need to input from the index 0 until the length. And then I will put every of the input into the array, and the array is in the square bracket like this one with the index I. So it will be a repetition from index 0 until the length. If I want to initialize the array with random values, I can do the loop from I equals to 0 until the length, and then I will do the math.random. So I hope that you still remember the math.random. And I would like to multiply with 100. So math.random is a number between 0 until 1. So it can be any number between 0 until 1. And yeah, I can make a number between 0 and 100 by multiplying with 100. Printing the arrays. If I want to check all the elements of the array, then I can start the I from 0 until the length, and then I can print it. So this is the way to print the array element. I represent the index, and I is repetition from 0 until the length. Let's say I want to sum all the elements of the array. Then I can prepare one variable that is total, and then for every of the element, it will be added into the variable total. So this total plus equal my list. So it will be always added into this variable total. If I want to find the largest element, then I can do with similar to the total, but I'm making a new variable which is the maximum, and let the maximum be the first value of the array. And then I will do checking for all the elements from index I until the length. If my list I is greater than the maximum, so if any value from the variable is greater than the maximum, then there will be a new maximum. So the new maximum will be the my list of index I. There is a way to print the array into string. Okay, before that one, maybe I will show you some of this kind of array. Let me show you an example. Let me make a class. So let's suppose I want to ask the user to insert the array. Now let me just limit the size into 5. So I have double, and then I would like to get 5 input from the users, and if you run this one, enter 5 values. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can see all the numbers are inserted to this mylist, but I do not know what are the values. So you can print. Okay, you can print your arrays like this one. So I can print the array. Enter 5 values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I will print the values 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. Why it is 0.0? Because I put double. Okay. This is the way if you want to get the user input. How if I want to make it as a random? So I can just replace this one. I want to put it as a random. Then, yeah, this is the random value. 40 point something something, 63 point something something, and then 2 point something something, 10 point something something, and 94 point something something. So if you run again, yeah, it will show another value. If you run again, it will show another value because it is random. And if you want to sum, I want to sum all the elements. Sum all the elements. I can put system.out.println total. Maybe the total is like this one. So I can print okay, we have this one. I think I need to put the here. Yeah, you can see the total is this number. This is the result of the addition in this case. And let's say I want to see what is the maximum value. So I want to check what is the maximum value from all the elements. So I can do the max is plus maximum. So the maximum is 97 point something something. Okay, you can see that the maximum value that we get is this one. Okay. And for this one, we can print the array into string. So if I capture this one, this array means the my list. Oh, oh, sorry. This one is array. Array is correct. This is the my list. And in order to get this one, we need to capture the arrays here. And then if I make this printing, then it will be showing into the array with the square bracket. Okay, it will be showing with the square bracket. Okay, let me stop first. Let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.